So again, thank you for joining this course. We are to learn about news writing, and I like a more kind of interactive two-way communication. This is more kind of understanding the inspiration for writing. Okay, it depends on who you are. Okay, but I can say that me myself, okay, got a direct influence from my parents, especially my father, who really encouraged me to do writing, starting in my primary school. I still have that kind of memory. For every test of Bahasa Melayu penulisan, okay, Bahasa Melayu writing, I always get an A grade. Okay, that's the I can remember how it influenced me myself to become a writer. Okay, because my parents know my talent, so that's how they, mold or shape me myself to become a writer since I was a primary school student. And the second one, if you have the personal value or personal interest in, let's say, for instance, if you someone that really follow the current issues in the country or even at the international level, okay, you can always write about it at the right medium. Okay, the third one could be school teachers factor. Maybe your teacher is a very, very good teacher who really guided you on how to do or how to produce a very good writing, either in Bahasa Melayu, the native, or in the international languages, especially English. Okay, maybe he or she really guide you to become a good writer. Okay, I got this kind of teacher when I was in primary school also. So that's why I think your history, your life history, can really shape on how you are now, who you are. Okay, but because now you are mostly students or worker, okay, it may be part of the job requirement or the job demand for you to do writing. Okay, I can understand this, especially now I was working in the UTM Vice Chancellor office, where most of time, okay, we need to go for visibility of the programs that we conducted. So if we did not do that, it means that people will not know about that program. So how you want to make a greater visibility for the program, you must do writing, a kind of promotional event for that particular program. Okay? It could be before the program or during the events or even after the events if you want people to know about the program that you want others to know about. Okay. Number 5, transforming the organization. I can see that some of the offices in UTM getting more visibility simply because the right articles or the right news, let's say in UTM News Hub. Okay, I know that not all offices in UTM do that. Okay, and it creates a difference between those offices that do and do not do. Okay, at the UTM Vice Chancellor office, I can see that landscape is now that all offices go for news writing. The effect of that particular practice is that even though you have so many programs, but you did not write the news for that particular program, people assume that you did not do your job. Okay, so it's a very somehow you create the perceptions that you are not working. Okay, so you have no choice. You need to make people know what the officers were doing. Okay, especially they go for events or special events in the office. Okay, or even if they do the events outside the university. The key point is that if an organization wants to transform further and further, they really, really need to ensure that whatever programs that they do or what they did must be visible. Okay, so that's one of the encouragement that I think that at UTM Vice Chancellor Office, okay, working closely with UTM Office of Strategy and Corporate Affairs, I think that it is crucial for promotional events using UTM News Hub, for instance. Okay. And number 6, if we want to become a thought leaders, then we must do writing. Okay. People will only know your thought if either you do writing or if you are speaking. Okay. People will not know what's inside your mind if you do not speak or if you did not write. Okay. So doing writing is especially a very, very a kind of common, okay, for many thought leaders. They really go for a feature article, okay, published in, let's say, in national or even at international level press, okay, like CNN or CNA or BBC and so on. Okay. And in Malaysia, we have several. The main one, Berita Harian, Utusan Malaysia, Harian Metro, and so on. Okay. So if you want to become a good thought leaders, then I think you should do the writing about your thoughts. Okay, so this is the inspirations of writing. I can directly send my article to the editor, and they usually will publish my article, okay, without really sending my article via university channel. It is not wrong, okay? But in some cases where maybe the media really want to have a very speed, speed outcome or speed writing from me, okay, like 1 or 2 days for publication, I got no time for, revisions or checking by the university. I can directly go to the national level through the editors of that particular newspaper, like Berita Harian or Utusan Malaysia. Okay, so I think that this is something that can have the benefit of for us, personally, especially if we have the connection with the press editor, okay, the national level at least. Okay, for now I got no connection with the international editors. Okay, maybe in the future, I'm not sure. I will try, okay, to get some kind of a connection with maybe probably CNN, BBC, or CNA. Okay, it depends on how we can position, okay, our thoughts for the international audience. Okay, but for a good start, I think the easiest here is for you to utilize UTM News Hub. That's, I think, the easiest starting point that you can start with. Okay, right. So this is for thought or opinion writing, okay, especially for academic staff, or even if you are undergrad and even postgrad students, okay. There is no wrong for you to become a thought lead, okay. And even if you are still a student and you can become a thought leader, you will become a great one when you become a lecturer, for instance. Okay? The journey is starting since you are a student. Okay? Do not wait until you become a lecturer or a professional in your field and you just want to write during that time. I think there is no wrong for you to start now if you think that you want to become a thought leader. Okay, someone that who can shape the mind of the society. Okay, and I think that that's how the professionals in any fields, if they write their thought in the newspaper, it's really about educating the society with scientific and systematic ways of thinking. Okay, I know that some of the press at the national level, okay, sometimes when, for instance, in the election year, okay, the attention of the nation is more on the political topics, okay, and is really occupied with all of the political scenario on that particular time, the election year. But we are now not in the election year, except for United States. They will have the presidential election in, I think, November 5th or 4th, okay, if not mistaken. Okay, But now, this year is not the election year for Malaysia. I think this is the right time for the student, for the lecturers to do writing. You cannot wait until the election year, because when it becomes the election year, all topics will be channeled to all the political benefits. Okay, so because this is not the election year, it's a very, very good time for us to benefit from the landscape. Okay, when the government still want to improve their governance, improve their administrations, okay, they need us as someone who was seen as the professional in our particular field, okay, to give the input through this kind of thought writing. Okay, so that's why we start with the reasons. It could be personal reasons, organizational, national, or even international. Okay, get the right facts. It's really important. Okay, otherwise people will start to focusing on you because of the mistake that we make when doing the writing, especially if we provide inaccurate facts or the false facts. Okay, it's very dangerous. Okay, this is something that I think the risk of going public, if we did not, or we are not really careful when we do writing, it could be something that can damage our reputation even. Okay, so I always remind me, myself especially, before I send my article to the press, I will ensure that the facts that I give in my writing really, really, really true. Okay, the easiest is that, okay, whenever you write something, okay, politically, you need to have references. Okay, it means that when you are writing that, you mention to someone, okay, the perspective from this theory, for instance, or from a particular public figure in your research area. Okay, means that you have someone, you have the reference that people know that you are writing not solely based on your thoughts. It is supported by someone who have the, the same or the similar idea with you. Okay, but please get the right facts, okay, when we do the writing. And I think this is also applicable, especially applicable if you go for thesis writing and even for journal article writing. Okay, so please write carefully. Otherwise, I think that maybe in thesis writing, your examiner will not give you a pass. Okay, the journal editor will not accept your article. Okay, you got rejected. Okay, the manuscript got rejected by the journal editor, maybe due to some inaccurate facts that you provide to the editor, okay, to the journal. And even, okay, the same principle used when the press editor find that you did not provide a good facts or the inaccurate facts, I think they will not also publish the article. Okay, right. Number 3, creative. You need to have some kind of your own writing style. It depends on a person. Okay, like me, okay, my style is that most of time I will show my scholarship. It means that I will write within my area of expertise. I will not comment. I will not write something that is not in my expertise. Okay, this is related to the number 2, get the right facts. When you are not the expert in that particular research area, my advice is that not go for that writing. Don't write about it. Someone can write it for you. Okay, so please, we need to have creativity in writing. But when we want to become creative, we must also ensure that we are the expert on that particular subject matter. Okay, right. Longer writing, 600 to 700 words for this thought or the opinion writing. Okay, so in my experience, not many students may become a thought leader. Okay, thought leaders that I know mostly are academic staff. Okay, but it doesn't mean that a student, undergrad or postgrad student, cannot become a thought leader. I think you can, but you must learn with someone who can guide you to become a thought leader. Okay, for instance, after this program, you want to see me, and it is because you want to become a thought leader. I may be able to guide you to become that kind of person. Okay, because I think this is a very quite long process if you want to become a thought leader. Okay, it means that you are the one who become the public figure in your particular research area. Okay, right. So it depends on your desire. If you want to go for that line, okay, becoming a thought leader, there is no wrong about it. Okay? You can make a try. You can contact me personally and you ask me for guidance to become a thought leader. Okay, right. This is some suggested topics that you can cover if you want to go for thought or the opinion writing. It could be the education or the academic writing, school education, workplace education, maybe about the economy, okay, the tax system, unemployment, job opportunity, professional development. Okay, this is something that I think a more generic one. Okay, maybe you have no background in economy, but you have the experience of working in industries, for instance. And I think you may be able to do writing about the economy. Okay. Number 3, science, technology, engineering, or mathematics, the STEM. Okay. For instance, if you want to write about the vaccines, the recent discovery about the environmental protection, natural disaster, the ICT, or now we call AI, for instance, artificial intelligence, okay, safety, health, and so on. Okay, and I think for most of UTM staff and students, okay, you are able to write for the number 3 topics, the science, the technology, engineering, or maths related area, the STEM area. Okay, and because UTM is a very, very engineering-based university, the science, technology, and engineering base, so I expect that many articles from UTM will touch about STEM issues. Okay, right. Number 4, nation building, the politics or the unity. It depends on, again, your area of expertise. Okay, in UTM, we have some public figure that regularly write about nation building, the politics, and so on. For instance, I can name Datuk Professor Kasim Tukiman. He's one of the prolific writer, okay, regularly write about politics, about nation building. And very important is that, okay, it should not be a sensitive issues touching about racial sentiment or provocations. Okay, this is particularly important if we write about political issues. Okay, be more like impartial. It means that you did not clearly state your stance on certain political parties.